Majo John Madden in Veracruz, Mexico, right by the Gulf of Mexico, standing next to it here. Wonderful sounds of the surf, much stronger than usual after a very big wind day today. I just did a video where I talked about young lovers and older lovers in Mexico. I've been here almost 10 months. Adore Mexico, adore Mexicans, and love how loving they are. They're extraordinarily affectionate, loving people with their kids, with their parents, with their grandparents. Very tight families, and kids get so well nurtured. Oh my God. And so much touch. Now, one friend down here said to me that touch in Mexico did take a hit with the COVID, which I guess it did everywhere in the world, but they sure bounced back fast. And this spot right here was very big vacationer spot my first week here. Kids were still out of school and a lot of people took vacation. So I did a lot of great people watching, and I said in my last video how much fun it was to watch all the lovers. Now, the rhetorical question that I asked myself after that, because honestly I've thought about it a lot, wasn't it hard for you, who's traveling alone and has honestly been alone for a long time, wasn't it hard for you to watch all that? And there were pangs at times, but my first spiritual teacher, Sri Chinmoy, down in New York City, he was all into creativity and encouraging everybody to stretch their creativity. And when there would be big celebrations in New York and people would come in from centers around the country, we would do little performances, or kind of extravagant performances for each other. And the San Francisco Center had so many talented and creative people, including at that point Carlos Santana. I never got to know him personally, but I got to be around him a lot and see him in action. And his wife at the time was also beautiful and brilliant and very talented performer. And Sri Chinmoy, we would gather at PS 32 in Jamaica, Queens, New York. And one night he said, when you see groups like the San Francisco group with all their talent, don't be jealous. Don't wish you were like them, because you are like them. Everything that's in them is in you. Take it as inspiration. Take it as encouragement of what's possible. And that's the way I feel about watching all the lovers in Mexico. I do feel like I'm learning where my blocks have been, including most recently, I'm a huge dog person, and for 8 years have always had a dog in tow, and do my dogs, especially traveling, where I'm no longer working part-time and with them all the time, turn into unbelievably great dogs. And partly because of that, when I lost my last dog, Magic, through very tragic circumstances that I'm not going to get into here because I don't want to cry right now, he's been gone 4 months. But what I realized was, those dogs have been your primary, Jack. They've been your co-pilot, who rides shotgun in the van, and you always introduce, when you talk about your travels, you always say we, and people assume you have a partner, and kind of you did. So my exploration of romantic relationships has really taken off, and I'm having lots of experiences, although nothing has quite crystallized. But when I see all the lovers here, I take it as, yeah, this is a place where it happens. I do believe that geography can shape personality. People used to say of when I lived in Asheville, this hippie hub, progressive town in the mountains, they'd say, you're so Asheville. When I got to New Orleans for the first time, the winter of 21, I said, oh man, you're much more New Orleans. The black infused culture and the party town and music. One poster I saw said, I'm not sure, but I think originally all music came from New Orleans. And I was there for the whole Mardi Gras season, which was so spectacular. and I'm even more Mexico. Even though my language skills, Spanish language skills, are still pretty basic, in recurring situations, I fool people into thinking I'm fluent sometimes. A lot of Mexicans say, your Spanish is so good. And I say, give me 2 minutes, I'm going to be just with my jaw open going, no entiendo, no entiendo. But Mexico really agrees with me, and being by the coast really agrees with me. I'd spent a year along the Gulf Coast in southwest Louisiana and South Texas, and now it's even so much better in Mexico. And I just spent 3 months up in Xalapa, Xalapa, spectacular city, state capital of Veracruz, way up in the mountains, so hilly. So it's really an amazing city with terrible weather, cold and rainy and overcast. And to get down here 9 days ago with so much sun and so much warmth, I'm happier every day, and have all kinds of wonderful encounters. Mexicans are really open to encounter, and especially where I've been on the east coast of Mexico, where they don't get American tourists, so they're not burned out on ugly Americans who so often are ignorant and don't attempt to really learn the culture. So around here, people are eager to engage with the gringo. They want to try out their little bit of English. Many of them have lived or worked in the U.S. at some point. And I like to say that guys in Mexico love the word amigo, and they love having amigos, and they just go out of their way to have you be their amigo. And the number of Mexican guys, and some women also, who have said to me, if you ever need anything, here's my WhatsApp number, call me. They just say that and they mean it. And even before I got to Mexico, in my 2.5 years of travel in the U.S., I drive old vans that have car problems and break down. It's going to be a Mexican. In North Carolina, where I started, in Chicago, in Louisville, Kentucky, in Texas, of course. The ones that are going to stop, 80%, a Mexican with an old beat-up pickup truck who will take as much time as it helps to get you dug out of the sand or get your car jumped or whatever. They're like that. That's just how they operate. Okay, good. Bye.